Hello everyone, welcome back to our channel. So we have seen the principal steps in the sample survey up to the seventh step, right? So once we will recall all the steps and then we will go to the next steps. First one is the objectives. Objectives are nothing but whenever you are doing a sample survey, you are doing for a purpose in order to get some objectives from it. So the information you want to get from the sample survey is the objective. What are the outcomes you need? What is the information you want to get from the survey? It is nothing but the objectives. Next one is defining the population. Instead of doing the survey for the whole population, we take the sample of the population and we do the survey. In order to take the sample, first we need to define the population. And this is the second step. The third one is the sampling frame and the sampling units. Sampling frame is nothing but the all included participants from the population is called as a sampling frame. And sampling units are the units which are collected from the sampling frame. Sampling frame నుంచి కొన్ని తీసుకొని ఇండివిజువల్స్ ని రిప్రజెంట్ చేస్తే దాన్ని సాంప్లింగ్ యూనిట్స్ అంటారు. సాంప్లింగ్ ఫ్రేమ్ అంటే పాపులేషన్ మొత్తం నుంచి all included participants are called as sampling frame. And fourth one is data to be collected. For your suitable survey, మీ సర్వేకి కావాల్సిన డేటా మీ అనాలిసిస్ కి ఏది పనికొస్తుందో ఆ డేటాని కలెక్ట్ చేసుకోవాలి. అకార్డింగ్ టు యువర్ సర్వే, అకార్డింగ్ టు యువర్ అనాలిసిస్, you need to select what type of data to be collected. And the fifth one is the questionnaire or a schedule. According to your resources and according to your time, according to your budget, you need to select any one of the method, that is the questionnaire method or a schedule method. But both have the pros and cons. And method of collection of data, which is nothing but the interview method or a questionnaire method. This also I have given a clarity about the sixth step and all the steps, but in order to remember all the steps, I am giving a summary of it. And the seventh one is the non-respondents. In the questionnaire method, we may see the more non-respondents because it is favored to them. Whether they want to give, they'll give. If they don't want to give the answers, they won't give in the questionnaire method. But in a schedule, it is the face-to-face interview. Most of the interviews where you get all the answers to it. And now we will see the 8th, 9th and 10th. Now the 8th step is selection of proper sampling design. So the statistical inference we made for the population by taking the sample. మనం ఇన్ఫరెన్సెస్ ఎలా చేస్తాం? మొత్తం పాపులేషన్ ని తీసుకొని అయితే అనలైజ్ చేయం కదా. It is too hard and it takes a lot of time. You can't even analyze it if you're taking the total population. So we take a sample which represents the whole population and we make a statements about the population by taking the reference of a sample. So in order to success of your analysis, in order to say that your analysis are correct, accurate, you need to select the sample properly. So for that we have selection of proper sampling design. According to your analysis, suitable of analysis, you need to select the proper sampling design. There are sampling designs, there are different types in it. For example, we can say simple random sampling, stratified random sampling, cluster random sampling, simple random sampling with replacement, without replacement. So in those techniques, we need to use a technique which is suitable for our analysis or a survey. So those we will learn in further videos. This is the 8th step. And now we are jumping into the 9th step, which is field work organization. Field work organization is nothing but our field work is to conduct the survey. Organization is nothing but to conduct a survey. There is some organization. మనం ఒక సర్వే కండక్ట్ చేస్తున్నామంటే దాంట్లో thousands of people will be included in it. From collecting the data, preparing the data, analyzing the data, cleaning the data, there are involved some thousands of employees or peoples in it, right? Thousands of employees, or in an organization there are so many people, if we take as an example. So that our field work is here to success the sample survey. So there are thousands of people, there are included in different of tasks. First one is collecting the data. First మనం సర్వే చేయాలి అంటే మనం ఏం సెలెక్ట్ చేసుకోవాలి, మనం సర్వే యొక్క ఆబ్జెక్టివ్స్ ఏంటి. ఫస్ట్ we need to collect what are the objectives and what is the purpose of doing the survey. That is the first one. And after collecting the data, first we need to prepare it. After collecting, we need to prepare the data, and we need to select the population, sampling units, sampling frame. So in those steps, after getting the data, we need to verify it, whether it is accurate or not, or whether the information is collected is reliable or not. And after cleaning the data and verifying the data, validating the data, we need to put those information digitalized. Then after digitalizing it, once the data is cleaned, you need to get analysis of part. This whole thing cannot be done by the one person, right? There are many people included in it. So in order to conduct a survey, we have two methods, interview method and a mail questionnaire method. In the interview method, the interviewers who are interviewing the people, first they have to be trained. They had to be trained. If they are not trained, how can they interview the people, right? They need to be trained. For example, they need the interviewer who are interviewing the people, they need to ask the questions, and after the questions are answered by the respondents, they need to write those outputs or inputs, we can say, into the paper. If they don't know how to write, how to read a question, how to ask a question, then how our survey may be successful? So the training also important. We need to give a training to them. And in those situations, we may face some problems, like the sampling units is so small. How to handle with this situation, right? We are expecting a target of a sample, but we are getting only few. We are reaching few of them, and what is the rest of the information, right? So in order to handle those situations, the trainers has to be trained in a well mannered, and these training should be supervised by someone else in the organization. And in these few steps, there are many steps in it. Some of how I'm explaining few steps. So the whole sample survey success depends on the fieldwork organization, right? The coordinators, if any problem occurs, we need to coordinate with our coordinators. So this is the problem, and how can I make changes to it so that this problem will be vanished. So they need to communicate, they have a communication, so that the problem is solved easily, and we don't get any misconceptions or misunderstandings over the survey. And here the time management is also so important. If you are planning something and the survey has to be gone under this planning only, it should not disturb any cost. The survey or a planning should not disturb. If it is disturbed, then the whole organization involved in it waste the time, and the whole success is involved in the field organization. So this is the very important step in sample survey. And the last one we have is pre-test. If you divide this word into two, the first word is pre and test is the second word. Test is nothing but it's an exam. Test. Simply. It's a test, exam. Pre is nothing but before. Let us remove this all, or you can easily understand what is a pre-test. Okay. Here the test means exam and pre means before exam. అంటే మనం ఒక క్వశ్చనరీ అనేది ప్రిపేర్ చేసుకున్నాం ఇంటర్వ్యూకి. ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ ఇంటర్వ్యూనే తీసుకున్నాం. ఇంటర్వ్యూలో కొన్ని క్వశ్చన్స్ ప్రిపేర్ చేశాను. We have prepared few questions to it in order to conduct an interview. And schedule చేసామనుకోండి. Schedule is nothing but the interview. And we will take another example of questionnaire, mail questionnaire method. Questions అనేటివి ప్రిపేర్ చేసుకున్నాం. Mail questionnaire method. And ఈ questions ఒక 10 questions ఉన్నాయనుకుందాం. Let us suppose it consists of some 10 questions. మనం శాంపుల్ ఏదైతే సెలెక్ట్ చేసుకున్నామో వాళ్ళకి సర్వే చేసే ముందు ఈ ఏవైతే క్వశ్చన్స్ అయితే ప్రిపేర్ చేసామో వీటిని ఈ క్వశ్చనరీని ఒక 10 పీపుల్స్కి ఇస్తారనమాట. బిఫోర్ 10 పీపుల్స్కి ఇస్తారు. ఇచ్చి ఫస్ట్ వాళ్ళు ఎలా ఆన్సర్ చేస్తున్నారో ఫస్ట్ చూస్తారనమాట. మనం ప్రిపేర్ చేసిన క్వశ్చన్కి how they are answering it, whether they can answer it, they are understanding the questions, and what type of response is getting from our questions. ఒక 10 పీపుల్స్ ఒక వాళ్ళ సెలెక్టెడ్ పీపుల్స్ని బట్టి ఇచ్చినప్పుడు వాళ్ళు కొన్ని ఆన్సర్స్ రాస్తారు కదా, దే విల్ రెస్పాండ్ టు ది క్వశ్చన్ అది రైట్. దాన్ని బట్టి సో వాళ్ళకి అర్థమవుతుంది. సో దిస్ క్వశ్చన్ ఇస్ ఆన్సర్డ్ ఇన్ దిస్ వే, దిస్ క్వశ్చన్ ఈస్ ఆన్సర్డ్ ఇన్ దిస్ వే. అండ్ ఈ 10 పీపుల్స్లో 5 members అనేవాళ్ళు ఈ క్వశ్చన్స్ కి సరిగ్గా ఆన్సర్ చేయలేదు. ఇట్ ఈస్ నథింగ్ బట్ దే ఆర్ నాట్ అండర్స్టాండింగ్. సో ఏమైనా చేంజెస్ ఉంటే దాన్ని బట్టి అర్థమవుతుంది కదా వాళ్ళకి. సో ఇఫ్ there are any changes, they will modify the questions, and after conducting the pre-test only, the questionnaire will go to the population sample. ఇలా pre-test చేయకముందు ఎవరికి ఇవ్వరు. ఇక్కడ మనం pre-test కి ఒక ఎగ్జాంపుల్ చూద్దాం. ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ ఇఫ్ యూ టేక్ ది క్లినికల్ ఆర్ a మెడిసిన్ తీసుకోండి. సపోజ్ ఇఫ్ యూ టేక్ ఎనీ మెడిసిన్, న్యూ మెడిసిన్ అనేది ఒక కొత్త మెడిసిన్ అనేది ఇంట్రడ్యూస్ చేశారనమాట. దిస్ ఇస్ ది మెడిసిన్ దట్ హ్యాస్ న్యూలీ ఇంట్రడ్యూస్డ్. సో దీన్ని టెస్ట్ చేయకుండా డైరెక్ట్గా అయితే మనకి ఈ హ్యూమన్ బీయింగ్స్కి ఇవ్వరు కదా. దీన్ని టెస్ట్ చేయకుండా పీపుల్కి ఇస్తే ఏమవుతుంది? ఇఫ్ ఇట్ మే బి ఎఫెక్ట్ టు ది పీపుల్, దెర్ కెన్ బి ది డేంజర్ ఆఫ్ డెత్స్, రైట్? సో అందుకనే ఫస్ట్ ఈ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ తీసుకుంటే ఏంటంటే ఈ మెడిసిన్ ఏదైతే కొత్తగా న్యూ డ్రగ్ ఏదైతే ప్రొడ్యూస్ చేశారో దాన్ని తో కానీ ఇఫ్ వి టేక్ ఎలుకలకి ఫస్ట్ దాన్ని ట్రై చేస్తారన్నమాట. whether they are surviving it or not, they will do this experiment on the rats and they will test whether they can survive or not. And ఈ ఏదైతే న్యూ డ్రగ్ ఉందో దాన్ని ఫస్ట్ వేరే దానిపైన టెస్ట్ చేసి if that medicine is surviving, if it is effective, then only this medicine will given to the people, human beings. I think this is the best example for pre-test. And I hope you have understood this video. If you have any doubts, please put it in the comment box, and happy learning to you. Thank you all.